flashlight suddenly fell to the ground, making a sharp sound. I quickly turned the light's beam, heart racing. Luckily, I reacted fast enough and the kidnappers didn't notice me. But unexpectedly, another kidnapper sensed something was wrong. He immediately turned on all the lights and walked toward the end of the bed. I squeezed my eyes shut, desperately curling into a ball, not daring to move. I couldn't even imagine what would happen next. But luckily, the kidnappers' attention was on the bed. Their boss was lying there. It turned out that when they barged in earlier, my boyfriend heard the noise. He grabbed a baseball bat and rushed out. The kidnappers weren't prepared, and their boss took a hit. He fell down the stairs and was stabbed in the stomach by broken glass. The boss on the bed was bleeding heavily, and I knew my boyfriend was likely in grave danger. Thinking about that, I couldn't hold back my tears. But then I realized if my tears hit the ground, they would make a sound. I quickly shut my eyes and held back the tears, trying desperately not to cry. At that moment, the kidnappers were arguing about whether or not to take their boss to the hospital. The plan was already halfway done, and the boss didn't want to quit. Seeing they weren't planning to leave, I felt a wave of despair. I couldn't imagine what would happen next, but just then, the boss ordered his men to clean up the blood, leaving only Jack to watch over him. Watching the boss suffer in pain, Jack tried to search for a solution online. He accidentally knocked my bag to the floor, and my phone fell out. My heart skipped a beat, hope flared inside me. As Jack focused on his research, I quietly grabbed a stick, trying to pull the bag closer to me. But the stick's end was too thick, and I couldn't get the bag. Hope was so close, and I refused to give up on this one chance. Seeing Jack still at the computer, I made a desperate decision. I took a deep breath, stretched my head out of the bed. Seeing that Jack hadn't noticed me, I bravely reached out for the bag. Finally, I managed to grab the bag. Just as I was about to pull it in, my heart raced almost in my throat. I froze, too scared to move until someone walked over to talk to Jack. Only then did I gather the courage to take out my phone and start typing a rescue message. But to my horror, the phone died. My heart sank and my last hope vanished. I had secretly gone to meet my boyfriend to plan our escape, but instead I walked right into this nightmare. If I hadn't reacted quickly, I would have probably been dead by the kidnappers' guns. Just then, two kidnappers walked over to the bed. It turned out that Jack had found a way to treat their boss. He propped up the end of the bed so the bleeding wouldn't continue. He called for help and brought several books to prop up the bed corner. Seeing my exposure imminent, I had no choice but to close my eyes and wait for fate to side. Froze, heart aching.
Wait. Your wife, she's a doctor.
I couldn't believe there was still someone alive. Soon after, my boyfriend's mother was brought up. The kidnappers ordered her to stop the bleeding. It seemed like she knew I was hiding under the bed. She deliberately dropped her watch, then pretended to crouch and pick it up. We locked eyes, and in that moment, I felt a strange sense of trust. Although she didn't like me as a daughter-in-law at that moment, I was the only one who could save us all. It deliberately slowed down, and by dawn, she finally pulled the glass out of the boss's waist and pressed a towel to the wound. A small smile curled on her lips. She was speeding up the boss's blood loss just to give me a chance to escape. Then, her mother was escorted back to another room, bound again with my boyfriend. Her father was dressed and ready. The kidnappers helped him with his tie before dragging him into the car. They were going to use his position as a bank manager to rob the local biggest